Morning, guys. We just checked out. We are now heading to Hong Kong this morning. So we'll check in maybe at the airport, maybe when we're there, we'll see. But we're heading out. We got a good night's sleep, even though everybody was making a ton of noise. It's all good. Still got a full 8 hours. We're gonna head out now. We are now in Hong Kong. I feel like this is, well, we're in Causeway Bay, and I most definitely took a wrong turn somewhere because I just finished climbing an incredibly steep incline with my full bag and all, and halfway up I knew that I was probably doing something wrong. But this place, I think, is the true definition of when your parents say that they walked uphill both ways to and from school. It's probably because they went to school in Causeway Bay. We're gonna find out where it is we're going. The floor. Let's see what this room looks like. All right. Well, this is the room. Very, very basic, single bed. No webs or anything at the top. Very high floor, 22nd floor. What a lovely view. Look at that. Wow, amazing. We love seeing buildings in the need of extensive power washing. And look at these windows. Super clean. No reason to talk it down. With the price I paid, it was about like 90 Canadian a night. And the reason why I went for a private room and not a hostel or capsule is because I just couldn't find a hostel or capsule in a decent area that didn't have the word mice or rats in half the comments and that had a locker. It seems like a lot of these places just don't have a locker. But here, let's do a quick room tour. So we also have a fridge here. Let's see, okay. Is it cold? It'll do. Not that we need to use a fridge, really. Where's the light? Where is the light? Maybe if I just walk in, it turns on. There's got to be a light somewhere. Oh. Oh, okay. Would you look at that? And a nice little window. Frosted window. Wouldn't have needed to be frosted with the lack of cleaning that is done. Hey, look, a humidity bug. No Japanese bidet toilet in here. No surprise in there. And there we are. So anyway, yeah, not much to show you here. We'll get everything unpacked, everything sorted. I'm gonna take a monumental piss, and then we'll take it from there as to what happens next. Made it back to the room, just got caught in an insane rainstorm out of nowhere. I don't know what happened, but I mean, you can't really see with these windows that are in dire need of a cleaning. It was gray skies. It wasn't pouring that hard, and suddenly I couldn't even hold the umbrella. It was blowing away. So we decided to come back to the room, and now I'm just charging some devices. I am going to dry my shoes, even though before leaving for the trip, and this is a good tip, is you always get your shoes sprayed. There's that spray that you put on your boots in the winter. You do that as well for your shoes. And I did that, but I mean, this was a massive tropical rainstorm that just happened out of nowhere. That's it, we're gonna hang out here for a little bit, prepare our stuff in the room, see what we gotta do. We did a turn in the entire area, just see what's going on and what's going on around. For some reason, there's Teslas and Porsches everywhere. Just want to quickly chime in and just mention this photo of Mount Fuji that I took from a plane. And this plane was going from Narita to Hong Kong. And I have these two photos here, and I'll put them both up on the screen. Just want to quickly go over them. When I say that I think I'm living in a simulation, it's photos like this. Man, this place has a strange vibe. It's like, it feels alright, but it doesn't look alright. It's hard to explain. I don't know why they do this to me. I don't even know why I do this to me. Every time I see a set of stairs, I immediately see it as a challenge. And we conquer it every single time. Again, there's stairs, there's escalators, there's elevators, but nope, there's a set of stairs, we're immediately going to go up them. I don't even know where this is going or where this is bringing me. See, we get to see things from a different perspective. This is why we always take the stairs. You see a set of stairs, it's a challenge, it's immediate. Must take it. One thing that I'm noticing about Hong Kong is that you can never just cross the street. It's a little bit like how in Tokyo, you can't just cross the street because of all the curves and whatnot. There's bridges, there's tunnels, etc. Crossing the streets, sometimes getting from point A to point B, means you got to go to point B, C, D, E, and back, and so forth. We're trying to cross the street here. Instead, we're just running into multiple public parks and public works. But we will cross the street at some point. I mean, there's a bridge coming up there, so maybe that's where we're going to be doing that. Number of accidents, would you look at that? 0. And even if there is an accident, you fire that guy and then you just leave it at 0. It's just a new tactic. Anyways, I've been trying to get into the metro here. I just don't know where it is. I've been walking around this construction site for a minute and a half. Maybe, is this it? Oh, look at that. There's that one tiny little sign. All right, so here it is. I think it's by here. We're about to find out. Turns out that sign was right. See, it's always good to read. It's important. Listen to your teacher when you're in school. Learn to read. I don't know what it is with McDonald's over here, but they're really in control. This is Nathan Road. There's a McDonald's there. There's one down there that you probably can't see on the camera. There's one over there that you might be able to see on the camera, and there's another one about 200 feet that way. So I'm not really sure what the appeal is. Welcome to Hong Kong. Teslas everywhere you look. See, that's sort of the cyberpunk look with the ACs sticking out of the apartment buildings and with the neon lights like that. The only thing is that all the neon lights seem to be working. That's the issue. So you need to bust up a few of them, and then that'll be the kind of look that we're gunning for. This is like the AliExpress Manhattan, is what this feels like. Now, I was just thinking, and hear me out. Imagine all these photos and all these videos that I'm sending you are all fake. Imagine this is just me using some elaborate generative AI software, and I've been able to basically create this entire trip, and none of this actually exists. What that I'm quite worried about is that this is a reality that will eventually come. People are creating entire online personas and then just selling them. I mean, people were doing it before Gen AI, and now it's getting even worse. So just take that a note. So we'll note this down for the future when this becomes the unfortunate reality of events, because it will happen, and it's just a matter of time. And it's going to be a bad time. It's going to be a scary time. I don't like it. Maybe you do, but I don't like it. Good morning, everyone. Today, I think the plan is we're going to scale a mountain. Check it out. We'll see how to get there, and we'll hope that buses are available on the weekend. We are now walking up the Dragon's Back, or Dragon's Tail, or I don't know, Dragon's Shaft, something. But anyway, we got off the bus, we're walking up this path, and we'll see where it takes us. It says the difficulty is a 3-star, but I do see children, so if they could do it, we could do it. We're still climbing here, and it's quite interesting how these steps, despite how they're constructed, are still easier to navigate than most steps, even in Montreal. You go on Mount Royal and it's still more difficult than this. Here it's nice and steady. And there's nobody around. There's a family in front of me, but apart from that, there's nobody around, despite many people getting off the bus. But we'll keep walking. I should probably go find them because they seem like they knew where they were going, and I don't. Alright, so the name is Dragon's Back. It's Dragon's Back. So now we're going to walk through here. Let's hope that we don't run into any hairy critters, because the anxiety is a little bit high right now. Let's hope we can make it. We'll do it. We'll do it hat down, and we'll do it. Lots of sunscreen, and we'll do it. Maybe I shouldn't have ran up those steps. Nonetheless, we made it here. We continue to press on, one way forward. That's it, we don't turn back. We just continue to move forward. Let's see how long we have here. The sign says 1.5 hours, 3.7 kilometers. Therefore, we continue to go. Is this the dragon's back? Is this not his back? We're trying to ride the dragon's back. No, wait, never mind. Cut that. Cut that. We're not gonna put that in. We're definitely not trying to ride the dragon. Just cut all that. Check out that house over there. I don't know if that's a house or a country club or something, but check that out right there. Hell yeah. Still 2.5 miles to go. Try not to sprain an ankle here. Not sure whose idea this was, but we're here now. I peed before going on the mountain, but now that I reached near the summit, I obviously have to pee again. And I don't think there's a bathroom for a while, but we keep going. Hey, look, some stairs. We love the stairs around these parts. Ups and downs everywhere here. It looks like we are in fact riding the dragon. No, wait. Why do I keep saying riding the dragon? I need to find another word for that. Alright, let's not bust our head here. Let's make it down. Success. Next part where we will do the exact same thing. Where I just end up in places. I don't know, I should be right now in the office on Microsoft Excel or something, doing some sort of tedious task that is easily replaceable by even the simplest form of generative AI. That's what I would be doing if I was employed, but instead I'm over here on this cliff. Imagine this golf course right here. You're just there, you're playing with the boys, crushing beers, overlooking the water like this. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. By the way, just a piece of information. I've never once played golf in my entire life, but I just keep bringing it up because it looks like something that some of the absolute boys would want to do right now. Is just play golf on that course. And let's get out of here. The wind is way too strong. We still have to climb all the way up over there where we see that staircase. And that looks to be the peak. Now at the peak of the Dragon's Back at 284 meters. And it is super windy and I don't think you could hear anything I'm saying, so I'm with the trek. So we're gonna go down now for this wind to cut. Alright. That looked to have been the peak and the wind is insane up there. So we will continue with the trekking and see what comes next. This is what I'm talking about. This is a majestic bench, guys. This is what I'm talking about when I say majestic benches. Check this out. We're at the peak, nearly 300 meters in altitude. There's a random bench. Let's sit on it. We just sat on the peak bench. That's the name of this. We will call this the peak bench from now on, since we're at the peak. Hell yeah. It's just one of the majestic benches that we've been looking for. This does not seem safe at all. Nevertheless, we press on, and we press on with mild caution, but with moderate speed. Oh, okay, almost slipped. Never mind. Mild speed as well. Considering we're 2 miles into a mountain right now, this trail is still more manicured than some of the trails that I've experienced at Mount Royal, which is smack in the middle of a developed city. But yet here we are in the middle of the mountains, and this is cleaner than most treks in a city. There's a lot of people taking this trek, therefore it does go to prove that if you do maintain the land, people will use it. Oh, distance post. I have no idea what that means. We just continue to walk. Don't know what that distance is. Momentum is everything. Once you start running up the mountain, then you could get better grip on the rocks. Don't look that up. That's likely factually incorrect. Don't Google that. Nevertheless, we keep up the momentum and we run up the hill. I'm out of breath here trying to explain some misinformation while running up a cliff. Not recommended. Definitely don't do that. Then we're gonna take a seat here on the bench. So we made it without spraining my ankle. It's a miracle, but it can be done. All right, let's get out of here. I've been on this bench for too long. Let's get out of here. Let's keep going. Looks like there's some sort of beach down there with a trail that's going into the mountain. I don't know if we could zoom in and see that. We'll see if we can maybe make it there. That would be quite interesting to go down that trail. We'll see if we can get there. We're gonna keep moving. We won't stay here too long. So we're gonna keep moving up this hill. And this wind is legitimately lifting me off my feet right now, and I really hope the rain doesn't come down, but anything is possible, so we prepared for it. We didn't, but I'll say we did. One step at a time, and we will make it there. I feel it. We will make it there, and we will make it there safely. We will make it there. This is like one of those random challenges where you ask yourself, why would you put yourself in this situation when I'm watching somebody else do it, but then yet here I am doing the exact same thing. I should have probably waited for a nicer day, but we don't have that luxury. We're only here for a few days, so we chose this day. Holding my hat now so it doesn't fly off. Also keeping it on so I don't get sunburned, because even though there was no sun out these past few days, I still somehow got sunburned. At the same time, I'm not wearing my hat properly, so I might still get sunburned. Yeah, hell no, we're not going there. Absolutely no chance. We're going to take this path instead. Absolutely no chance. I know I say this a lot, but this is what I feel my parents would always tell me about on their way to school and back every morning when they would leave at 3:30 in the morning for the snowstorms in Italy. Southern Italy, snowstorms, of course, all year round. You know, to the school that they definitely did go to. And they would tell me that it was all hills, all mountains, and it took hours for them to get to school. I feel that it's paths like this, that this is what they were doing every single day from when they were 3 years old. So if what they're saying is true, I'm basically reliving their childhood experience that they were doing every day, because they used to go to school 7 days a week, remember? Even 8 days a week sometimes. And sometimes they had to go to school and back 3 times in the same day. Don't know why, but that's just how the stories go. And I'm not the only one. I know in every culture the parents say the exact same thing. Man, I gotta piss so bad right now, you don't even know. I have to piss like a predator right now. It is crazy, and this is where I am right now. There is no chance of that happening anytime soon. So once again, when we go in the bushy areas, we keep our head down, cap tight, and we just walk without looking around. If you know me, you know exactly why I do that. And that's just what we do. We keep walking front. We don't look for anything we don't want to see. You know, we'll go super hard right now is the mythical 120 yen Pocari Sweat. That will go incredibly hard right now. However, I checked, and it seems that the 7-Eleven in Hong Kong sells Pocari Sweat at the equivalent of 300 yen. So it's way more expensive than Japan. So we're not going to buy any Pocari Sweat. Just got a rock in my foot. Horrible timing. I have the rock in my left foot. There's no way I'm stopping in the middle of this jungle. And I absolutely have to piss. It's getting not critical, but it's starting to get urgent. And I don't think I'm anywhere close to a toilet bowl. And I can't just stop and piss here on the cliff because they'll probably arrest me. We press on. We just keep going. It is officially 30 minutes since the last time I've seen someone. I really hope this is the right path. The bathroom is starting to become urgent. We press on. The GPS and internet is also lacking up here in the mountains. We'll figure it out. I mean, there's really nowhere to go. There's that way or there's that way. So either we continue front or we continue back. And judging by where I am on the curvature from looking out into the horizon, I'd say we're about maybe another 90 minutes from the closest piece of civilization, since we're right now in the deep, deep forest. So we continue. Something I want to mention as well is when you're traveling or when you're doing anything, stop it with these step apps. Like right now I have some app and I'm not going to shout them out because they count in steps. And then you have to do the whole conversion as to what it is in mileage. Guys, stop saying how many steps you did, because 10,000 steps for you and 10,000 steps for me is a different distance. Instead, you should always be calculating distance, not steps. So right now, oh, that's deep. Oh, can't swear on videos, it's true. Can't say the SH word. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Just gotta make it out over here. Just give me a moment. Back to what I was saying. Right now, I think it's like day 5 in my travels, and we are at 72 kilometers according to the tracker. We're 72 kilometers traveled, and it's having a much greater impact on my feet and my body, even though I walk every single day, because you have to remember, when I walk at home as well, despite me having a walking pad under my desk, the walking pads are cushioned, like a treadmill, it's cushioned. Here, when you're walking on hard cement, on steps, on created land, it's different, it's harder on your feet. And that's also another thing too that I want to bring up. I have to take a breath. I'm scaling a mountain here. It doesn't look like it, but I'm going up elevation right now. But something else I want to bring up as well is I hear it all the time that, oh, I'm going on a trip, I'm going to buy a new pair of shoes. False. Work your pair of shoes in. Work them in, break them in first before going on a trip if you're going to be walking, because if you're going to break in shoes, new shoes on your first day on the trip, it's going to be a very long trip, and a very long trip of you paying for services for any sort of logistics. So that's why it's always important to break in your shoes first before you go on a trip. I just saw my first person. How long's it been? 52 minutes since the last time I've seen someone. 52 minutes. So if he came from there, that means we continue from there because he had to come from somewhere. We are now heading to the curve, or soon to a curve. There has to be a curve at some point here, if I'm judging right, because the mountain is on that side and it looks like I could see into the distance there. Therefore, there has to be a curve at some point. Man, I gotta piss so bad. And I'm in the middle of the mountain. There seems to be quite a few people though. 3 people passed me in the last 15 minutes. Therefore, I'm starting to believe that there's some sort of civilization up ahead. Man, I gotta piss. This is like the quest to find a toilet. Despite me being in the wilderness, no way. No, you can't even make this up. 500 meters? Wow. Let's do it. I want to run. I really do want to run to this toilet. However, I just attempted to run, and not only did I almost sprain my ankle, but then I legitimately almost peed my pants. Right now, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, meaning that I'm stuck between If I run too fast, I'll pee my pants. But if I go too slow, I'll still pee my pants. Remember, I mean, I could probably just turn around and just pee in any one of these bushes, but I'm not in Canada here. In Canada, you could even just take a crap on the beach nowadays. You could do whatever you want. By the way, that's real. You could look that up. That's real. The one time I don't spread misinformation. That's real. You could look that up. People are pooping on the beach in Canada. In public. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it. Let's just keep trekking towards this toilet. We have to be getting close. There's no distance marker on that post. We have to be getting close. At this point, I've completely slowed down my walking. I'm probably even just gonna unleash demons in my own pants right now at this point, so we can't walk too fast. But it's got to be close. Oh, I'm seeing some civilization here. Maybe it's here. Okay, paved road. Ladies and gentlemen of culture and great intellect, I believe we are getting somewhere. You know what this looks like? You know when you're in the mountains and you see these silo-looking things and they're all fenced off, barbed wire, there's cameras everywhere? Makes you wonder what kind of CIA experiments are going on in there, in the mountains of Hong Kong. I don't know. Let's just find this toilet. Man, we could do it. Don't go too fast. Don't go too slow. We shall be rewarded with a piss of grand euphoric pleasure. Cut that. That sounds horrible. Cut that. I think I could get arrested for saying that. Just cut that part. Do a pre-ride check. Life's too short for regrets. Check your tires, check your brakes, wear all your padding, smoke a joint, check for weather, and bring half a bottle of water. All right, where's this toilet? Oh my God. No way. No way. Let's do it. All right. No bugs in here. Oh, shit. Jesus. Hell yeah. Wish me luck. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Words cannot express what I just did to that bathroom right there. And what I had to do in that bathroom. That was next level. We did unleash extreme demons in that bathroom. Massive spider web there. Let's move to the side. We don't want to know what's going to crawl out of there. Wow, that was more work than the entire trek. It's about 3 hours now I'm hiking. That was more work in that bathroom. I'm going to have to go into a 5-minute explanation to explain to you what I had to do in there. But nonetheless, the job got done. I'm clean, and the soap smelled surprisingly really nice in there. But we made it out. Let's just continue on with this trek. See, these benches here don't make the cut. Under a tree like this, this is not it. This is more of like a, let me sit here and take the rocks out of my shoe, but not more than that. That's about as far as we'll go with that. Big Wave Bay. Looks like that's where we're going to head. And this is the path. So I guess we're going to go down here. It says 45 minutes to do a kilometer, which leads me to believe that this is going to be a treacherous kilometer. We'll see what we get. Also, now's a better time than ever that I just want to mention that because I didn't get the $3 Pocari Sweat, I ended up getting the less expensive Aquarius, which might even taste better, honestly. This might even be a better tasting beverage. Pocari Sweat, it's more than just a beverage. It's the culture, it's the lifestyle, and that's why you need to get the Pocari Sweat. By the way, they didn't sponsor any of this. I'm just saying this. Nobody sponsored me at all. Just had to point that out. I bought this one strictly out of value, even though it tastes better, but that's just what it is. Anyway, right now I'm not even concentrating on making this video. I'm just concentrating on trying to not break an ankle here. We'll check in when we get to some other significant area. Walking down this trail and there is these two dogs and they seem friendly. Assume their owners are nearby. Turns out they were, in fact, very friendly dogs, and gave one of them a pat, and their owners were trailing behind about 40 feet. It's now about 20 minutes we've been walking downhill, which leads me to believe that we're getting closer to civilization. I can't exactly see any buildings through the bushes, but if I understand my geography correctly, water should be that way. We will continue to trek down this hill, and at some point, we have to be getting somewhere. We have finally reached some real steps, and they weren't joking when it said it takes an hour to walk that 3/4 of a kilometer, whatever it said on that sign. I can't remember anymore, but they weren't joking. That was a treacherous downhill path. Now it looks like it's all steps here, so we will continue to go down these steps nice and slowly, and we won't go too quick here because the distance between each one isn't the same. You see, like, this one is shorter than that one, so we're going to go down slowly, and we're almost there at, I don't even know where we're going. I'll be honest, I didn't even know. I followed the sign, Big Wave Bay or Big Wave Beach or something. That's where it said. I don't know, we're gonna head there. Then what I didn't think is, how am I going to get back? Yeah, we're definitely not walking back. We're gonna figure it out. I think this might be Big Wave Beach, maybe. I still can't see anything, but I guess we're getting there, maybe soon. Just walking by here near a parking lot, and there's a turtle just chilling in the water. There's three turtles. There's 3 turtles chilling in the water. Very cool. Is there any around here? Nope. Alright, we continue. There is now another nearby toilet, and there is no chance I would have ever made it to this one. So good thing I stopped at the one that I stopped at. And here we are in a park in Big Wave Bay, Big Wave Beach. Can't really remember. We are now here, I believe it's a Saturday or a Sunday maybe, but Big Wave Bay, Big Bay Wave, Big Bay Beach. We found more toilets, but once more, we don't need them right now. And we also found some benches here, but the view is heavily obstructed. Therefore, these are not even worth being graded, but this is what it looks like here. Free beach, by the way. Anybody could come here. And yet there's not a soul in sight. Well, okay, maybe it is 7 people, 8 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on the beach right now. Very interesting. This, where I live, would be incredibly packed. Very cool lifeguard tower as well. Anyways, we're gonna walk to somewhere, really. We're gonna keep going with the journey. We're gonna keep walking, and we'll see where we go. We'll walk to a nearby village, and we'll see what that one has to offer. But there's apparently another village that's not far from here. I heard people talking about it, so we're gonna walk there, and we'll see what there is to see there. We have now left Big Wave Bay or beach or whatever. Anyway, for some reason the parking lot, I don't know if it's a car gathering or what, but there was quite a few 911s and some Caymans and a Boxster, and there was an Aston Martin, a V8 Vantage. Unfortunately, it was not automatic, not a manual, but nonetheless. And strangely enough, the people getting into one of the 911s were speaking French, European French, which leads me to believe, are they retired? Is this where they live and work, or what's the deal? Because those did not look like rental cars. So I don't really know what the deal is. I tried to ask them, but they got in the car and basically drove off really quick. It is what it is. Didn't even get the clip of the video. It's all good. Once more, another golf course. This one is a different one. It's not the one we saw earlier from the top of the mountain. It's a different one. But I assume people who live in houses that have gates like this are probably frequent users of golf courses that look like this. Does anybody else ever just step on these little things like this when you're walking? You know, when you're walking, you just make it a point to walk on these narrow pathways with your feet, risking smashing an ankle and possibly ruining my entire trip for absolutely no reason. But we're gonna do it anyway. So we're just walking now, and we're making sure we step on the outermost block. just because. No reason at all. We are now at Sheko Village, I think. Something of the sort. And there is a nice 911 GT3, 992 GT3 parked right here. We are now at the Sheko Village Beach, maybe, or Sheko Beach. Not really quite certain. But this one has a lot more people on it, even though it looks exactly like the other one. I guess maybe just because there's more restaurants, more infrastructure. Still quite a nice view. Maybe I should take off my shoes and go touch the water. Might do that. Might take off my shoes, just touch the water, but then I have no clue how I'm going to dry my feet, so I didn't think that far ahead. Should have probably brought flip-flops or a towel. That beach clock says it's 28 degrees Celsius and it's 12:04. I didn't even realize just how early the day still is, but all that and it's still only 12. We're gonna hang around here maybe. It looks like there's a bus stop that could bring me directly to a subway station into the city. So whenever I need to, I could take that. I'm gonna hang out here just for a bit and let the feet rest. Anyways, we're going to head out of here. I tried to get a pair of sandals or a towel, and I tried to negotiate, but honestly, these prices are completely crazy. People are asking like 15, 20 Canadian dollars for the cheapest stuff. And you try to negotiate, you go down to like maybe 10, 12, but I just needed maybe a pair of flip-flops to walk into the water right now for maybe 2-3 minutes just to hang out, and then walk out. So no, I'm not spending that kind of money just to walk in some water. I mean, there's nobody in the water anyway. We're gonna head out of here. Let's go to the bus station and we're gonna get back to the city. It's still only about 12 o'clock. The most vicious bus ride that I've been on in a long time. Props to him, got us around quick, so we're all good. But the minibus was quite wild. Now I'm sitting here at a park on a bench and I'm watching people play this sort of outdoor hockey. They're using like these short sticks with a ball. We're taking a rest now. We're just letting the feet rest since we hiked quite a bit. Feet don't hurt, just for precaution so they don't hurt tomorrow. And honestly, Apple Maps and Google Maps are both really starting to piss me off. I don't know where it's sending me, and it keeps just giving me very inefficient routes. And Hong Kong tourism says themselves to use Google Maps, but it keeps sending me in these random places. And once again, Apple Maps and both Google Maps both failed me with the exact same route that does not exist. Basically, it leads me right through this building, but there's very clearly no road, not underground, not above ground, there's no bridge. There's no way to go through this building right now, but yet that's exactly where it leads me. It's only in Hong Kong, really. I don't think I've ever had this issue anywhere else. Both of them are giving me all the wrong information. So I'm going to figure out a way how to get around this road using my own brain, because clearly these digital maps that tens of billions are spent on yearly can't figure it out. So I'll do it on my own. People are hanging their clothes on a bridge outside of their apartment buildings. I mean, this is like dystopian. Look at these buildings. Look at this. And I can't even tell, are these low-income or high-income buildings, because then you look at the garages and you see what cars pull out, and it's all high-end electric vehicles, Porsches. I saw a McLaren zip out of one earlier, and this is what the buildings look like, so I really can't tell what it is or what it's all about. Is this a slum? Is it not? The bushes look to be well-maintained. The grass looks to be well-cut, so I don't know. Maybe it's just how the buildings look. Maybe that's just the look. I'm not quite certain. This is the northeast gate of the Kowloon City Park. This is where the Kowloon walled city once stood, if I read correctly. I want to see if we could get, or if any sort of visual of anything that remained, if there was something that they didn't destroy, because they destroyed it back in the 80s. The British and Chinese government both agreed that you couldn't keep that going. City wall, I believe it was over 50,000 people crowd into this small little park. Imagine, it just kept building on top, so much so that the bottom levels had permanent darkness. So there was always like those LED cyberpunk fluorescent lights that were always on, and they had all those handcrafted or hand-assembled pipes going around. Obviously not designed by engineers, but they were always leaking, so it was known that people were even walking around with umbrellas, therefore making it even darker. Now, you could Google all of this. Chances are what I'm saying is mildly misinformation. It is what it is. This isn't a channel about information that's accurate. This is just a channel where I just say things and we present them as facts, even though they likely aren't. Let's see if we could find any remnants of the old city. All right, what are we looking at here? Okay, so that's where we are right now. And we are standing near the Commander Rock, which is this. This is the Commander Rock. And we want to see, is there anything that says Old Southgate? What is that, 13? Okay, so 13 is over there. But is there anything? I just want to see something cool. Let's continue down this way. We're going to be heading towards a park. It looks like there's some show going on because I hear music in the background. We'll check it out and we'll see what we find. This park, by the way, was built in the 90s. Yet, look at these trees. Look at the size of these trees. They grew like this in 20 years. Look at these trees. Were they planted in the 90s or were they... No, they couldn't have been pre-existing if this is where it was. Or maybe, I don't even know. There's very little info here. There's no really placards of info. Let's keep walking around. Let's see what we get. It's a neat little bridge. In Japan, a bridge like that would be nothing in comparison to anything that we see, but over here it seems to be a neat little bridge. Of course, there's 3.5 warning signs on it that are ruining the aesthetic. It is what it is. Nothing like 5 signs on a 6-foot bridge to really ruin the aesthetic. Don't put your hand here, don't touch, don't jump, don't step, don't crawl, keep your dog on a leash. Let's at least look for a majestic bench. There doesn't seem to be any around here. Still no history anywhere to be seen. Keep looking around. I want to see if we can find any sort of remnant of the old Kowloon walled city, if they kept anything. It's a nice garden. Nice park for 99% of places. Because I just came from Japan, I'm honestly not as stricken as I would otherwise be. I think there is where there's an activity happening, but I just really want to see if I can find a piece of the old wall that is still standing. Just want to see if I can find anything, really. Is this maybe the old wall? No, definitely not. That's definitely too new and well manicured. We're going to see what we can find. No littering. See, that's what I mean. Another pointless sign. It just ruins the entire aesthetic of the gate. No littering. And then uneven floor. Take that out. I know it's not painted yellow, but take it out. It just ruins the whole aesthetic. Even here, take out the ribbon. It should just be understood. Let's see what we could do over here. Something just fell out of there and I didn't really like it. Something just fell out of the ceiling. We're just gonna get out of here. I don't know what that was, but it could have been a bug. We're getting out of here quickly. Yeah, let's move. I don't know what that was. Let's just speed up and move even faster now. We're on a quest, boys and girls, of incredible culture and grand intellect. We are on a quest of finding a remnant of the Kowloon walled city. There has to be at least one in this park somewhere. There has to be. We're looking. We'll see if we could find something. I don't know, a piece of foundation, one wall, something. This is just a model of what it looked like, the Kowloon walled city, the many, many stories, and the intersections on the inside, the tight alleyways. The scale is 1 to 200, just for reference. I think we found it. I think we found what I was looking for. And this looks to be a piece of the old foundation of the original buildings. So that was basically what I was looking for, some sort of, I mean, I was hoping to see maybe even a structure that goes higher up. I'll take it. We have a piece of foundation here. We have some steel beam, foundation of post-war buildings, remnants of the South Gate. I'll freeze the video there just for a moment for you guys to read. I'm not going to read all of that right now. I'm just moving along. I think it might start raining soon. There's a few benches here, but none of them that qualify. I'm getting more strict with the qualifications, especially after the one we saw today on the top of the hill like that, overlooking. That's definitely a majestic bench. So everything now, it's the bar has been raised. And we just continue to go up steps. We're just going up more steps. We'll see where they go. And once more, we'll take it from there. Looks like all the Chinese tour groups showed up, so that's my cue to get the hell out of here. Because if anybody knows anything about tourism and the Chinese tour groups, they just... Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but basically they leave a trail of devastation. And I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it in my own hometown. I've seen it in Europe. I see it in Asia. I see it everywhere. The Chinese tour groups in particular are the worst large tour groups. When their big bus shows up, you know it's time to get out of there. Overall thoughts on this park? A little bit underwhelming, honestly. There's not really much to it. Not a single one of the drinking fountains work. Not really much to this entire park. You know, it looks cool, but all the walkways are narrow, or most of them are blocked, and it zigzags a lot, and there's not really much that you're getting out of it. Not recommended to come here. We didn't really even see much history about the Kowloon Wall, the Kowloon Walled City. I was hoping, I mean, we saw something, but I was hoping to see an entire wall or at least partial building that still existed, but whatever. Anyways, on to the next. Now we're going to be heading towards the train station. However, as I mentioned earlier, Apple Maps and Google Maps are giving me a lot of trouble. Therefore, I'm going to try and wing it. I know it's somewhere by there in that general region because I remember seeing this building at this angle. We're going to figure out to see, and hopefully none of these streets curve and bring me into a circle. But we'll try it. We'll check it out. We'll see where we get from here. Another McDonald's. And speaking of McDonald's, this morning, it was around 7 in the morning, and I know it's a Sunday, but I could not find a single business open that sold any sort of bakery stuff or anything I could just take snacks with me. The 7-Elevens suck here, so the Circle K, it's all crap. And anyway, so I had McDonald's. I had some hash browns for breakfast with the orange juice, and I have to say that outside of the United States, Hong Kong is the worst McDonald's. I mean, the United States has the worst McDonald's, but Hong Kong is the second worst. Everywhere else, it tastes perfectly fine. All around Europe, all around Asia, it tastes fine. Hong Kong over here, I mean, unless I got a bad batch or something, but it just tasted very, very different. And everywhere else, it tasted, the flavor is uniform, the texture is uniform, but not here. Now, once more, look, across the street. See, I have to go right. But look, I can't, I just need to cut right there, but I can't. There's even fences. So I'm gonna have to cut over there, to cut over above this bridge here to go left. Very, very complex. So over there I'm gonna have to cross, then I'm gonna have to go up those stairs and cross over and go back down. It's very complex just to cross the street. This is apparently the world's longest outdoor escalator. Therefore, we're going to start riding it and we'll see how long it really is. was it, guys. That was the entire trip to the top of the escalator, and now we will have the fun of walking back down the entire path. And fun isn't exactly the best word. We'll walk back down and we'll be fine. And the descent begins. Also, as a fun note, it was 16 minutes to get from the bottom to the top with mild traffic. Turns out walking down is actually not as difficult as I thought it would have been. We're already more than halfway there, and it's only been 3.5 minutes. It took about 16 to come up, so not that difficult in the grand scheme of things. And you see, oh, what's this? Nice, Ferrari F40. Sorry, not F40, F430. Ferrari F430, massive difference. By the way, those are one of my favorites. The sound on those is one of the best in the modern Ferrari world. But as I was about to say before I was interrupted, is I see some old people going down these steps. And when I mean old, I mean 80 plus, or at least that's what they look like. Props to them, because this is definitely impressive. If I could do this at their age, then I would be quite content with myself physically. Check out that abandoned pool right there. How eerie is that? I'm telling you, this looks like some cyberpunk type of shit. This is crazy. Look at this. And even with the brand new building in the back, I'm not quite certain what building that is. I assume it's of significance of some sort. But yeah, this is some dystopian type of stuff. And more 911s, 2 of them just drove by. They're everywhere here. Guys, check out this cliff at the bottom of a stairway. I mean, you're just going down the stairs, and there's just this random cliff with no guardrail. So imagine you're not even thinking about using the stairs, and you just walk right over this, and you smash your face right over here. But no guardrail, nothing. Just an empty 4-foot drop onto a very steep hill where you'll likely fall to your demise. And there's no sign. Everywhere else there's signs, there's warning signs, there's fences, but there's none. The explanation as to what this is even worse than the sculpture itself. I'm not even going to tell you. And don't even Google it. Don't waste your time. It's the dumbest thing ever. Yeah, I don't even know what this is. I don't even know. Let's just keep walking. Bruce Lee statue. I think this guy made more movies than fights. Or I think he's been in more movies than fights, should I say. Saw him get beat up in a Tarantino movie once. That was one of the most disappointing light shows I've ever seen in my life. That is 10 minutes I'll never get back. That's crazy. This is like almost as bad as finding out Santa Claus doesn't exist. Crazy. Let's get out of here. Words cannot describe how disappointing that was. Incredibly underwhelming. Big waste of my time. I feel like I'm being weighed down by an irremovable excess amount of weight. Nothing could help salvage this irreparably bad day now. Maybe the mythical 120 yen Pocari sweat, but apart from that, nothing. I think I'm just gonna remove this entire segment from the video. This music right now is pissing me off. Let's get out of here. Let's just get out of here. Check out that yacht. $20 says there's 132 Thai strippers on that boat. Guaranteed. And not one less. You know, every time I see these vendors, I can't help but think, is anybody even buying this stuff? I mean, they're all selling the same stuff. None of it is even good. It's really nothing. This is why I keep saying that the whole night market or any market or anything like that, there's zero hype to any of it. I just don't see the appeal at all. And here, there's just a bunch, and they just come here, they sit here on a chair all day. I guess I'm missing something, but I just don't see the appeal of any of this. Look at that. There's just so many of them, and they're all locked up now, and it's not even that late. But even before, at around 5 o'clock, they were all locked up. I don't see the appeal of any of this sort of stuff. Anything that is some sort of market or whatever, I don't get it. I could go on Wish and get all of this stuff at the exact same price and deliver it to my door. And it doesn't smell like overseas manufacture. Alright everyone, we're back at the hotel. That was day 2 in Hong Kong. We unleashed the demons in the toilet. We took a shower. I will see you guys next time. And we'll see what day 3 has in store for us. Good night.